Hey there guys, it is Josh Siwasepl, and I just recently watched the Ratchet and Clank movie, and I've also played the Ratchet and Clank game, so I thought it'd be fun to maybe give my opinions on the movie, because the movie wasn't very well received, and I understand why. But, real quickly, I'm gonna give you a slight spoiler warning, so if you haven't seen the movie, or if you haven't played the game, or if you haven't played any of the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games, I will give you a second to go ahead and click away from this video, because I will be spoiling a somewhat major plot point in the movie, the game, and the original game. So, now should be the time you should be clicking away. And okay, if you're still here, I am going to take it that you know that Quark betrays Ratchet and Clank. In the original game, he was the hero, but was being paid by Drek, which is spoiled pretty early on in the game, actually. So it was fairly obvious that he was going to betray the group again in the new game as well as the movie. So there's the spoiler that I was alluding to. Anyway, the game, I feel, did a better job telling the story. You know, like, the movie's supposed to be based off the original game, but they add in Dr. Nefarious, which I felt like was kind of forced. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the writers of the movie looked at the game and saw that Dr. Nefarious was the main villain for a lot of it, and thought, wait a minute, who's this Drek person? Nefarious is the villain, obviously, so they put him in there, which I feel like kind of screws up the Ratchet and Clank lore, if you really care about it that much. But I felt like Dr. Nefarious was forced in, both in the game and in the movie. But the performance of the voice actor, who I don't know the name of, put it on screen, Future Josh, did a really great job. Really, all of the voice actors in this did a great job. Except for Paul Giamatti. I didn't like him in the game. And after watching the movie, I really didn't like him in the movie. He just didn't sound like Drek. You know, Drek's supposed to be, at least to him, he's supposed to be this main villain. He's supposed to be the brains of this operation. He got Dr. Nefarious to help him, but he didn't know Dr. Nefarious was gonna, you know, do all that he did. But, again, it just, I don't know, I think because the original voice actor for Drek from the first one, all the way back in, what, 2002, was just so memorable to me. You know, that's Drek in my mind. That's the voice. But it also, the thing has to do with, Paul Giamatti just doesn't have the same charisma as the original voice actor. He just makes Drek sound like an idiot. That's pretty much why I don't like him. Drek doesn't seem like an idiot. He's in charge of an entire planet. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense to me. Other than that, you know, Sylvester Stallone, he's not really in it that much. He probably has like 18 lines of dialogue and that's it. So, you know, his performance I didn't really care about just because he wasn't in it. Other than, like I said, all the voice actors did a pretty good job, except for those two. You know, Sylvester Stallone, he didn't do a bad job, he just didn't stand out, and Paul Giamatti just isn't that good as Drek. He makes him sound too dopey, like I already said. So, as far as the story goes in this, you don't have to watch the movie to play the game, but you do have to play the game to watch the movie. You have to. It's pretty much a given, you have to. Because there's so many moments in this movie that you sit there and think, wait a minute, when did they get here? Why did this happen? There's so much time in between things in the movie. It's badly paced, the movie. The game did a much better pacing job for the story. There were moments in the game that I felt like could have been fleshed out that actually were in the movie. The movie filled in some of the gaps in the game, but I would say in order to make sense of 80% of this movie, you have to play the game. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Because the game is way superior to the movie. Even just story-wise. If you were to take the gameplay away from the game, it would still be better than the movie. The movie it's not really that good. Now, if you've played the game, like you should, there are moments in this that you'll enjoy. There are some funny jokes. There are some nice references to Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper. And there's like a montage of like guns that they're going through. So the movie does have a couple moments, but really the cutscenes in the game that they took from the movie that they put in there, they pretty much took the best parts of the movie. Which, you know, smart on Insomniac, they took the best parts and it made their game better. So, you know, really smart on them. I will elaborate on one specific thing. So, like I said, Quark, we all know he betrays Ratchet and Clank in the original, as well as the team in the new Ratchet and Clank in the movie as well. But in the game, it's Nefarious trying to convince Drek that they need to have someone on the inside of the Galactic Rangers, and it alludes to Quark. And like I said, in the game, if you play the original, you know he's going to betray them. But in the movie, they go so far out as to have Nefarious actually move Drek's head to view a picture of Quark and then point at it repeatedly, multiple times, as if it's like a joke. Like Drek doesn't understand that there's a picture of Quark, and, you know, Quark, you know, Nefarious is like, hey, him. He's the one. Get him. It's not funny. And it actually goes against the movie some. Because in the game, they never really build up that Alaris is not really treated that well by the Galactic Rangers. She's kind of overlooked a lot. You know, there's that one scene where they're voting on the plans and her and Clank get outvoted. But it is not really alluded to that she's not treated well. In the movie, they show it. They repeatedly show it near, like, somewhere around the 30 to 40 minute mark. They really show that she doesn't like the way the Rangers treat her, and she wants to be treated better. And even in her office, there's a picture of Dr. Nefarious, who used to be her assistant. Or she used to be his assistant because he used to be the Ranger scientist. So the movie kind of hurts itself a little bit because they could have really played with people's expectations of this. They could have made people think, oh, I know this, Quark's going to betray them. And then make them think, oh, wait a minute, Alaris might betray them. Because we got these new characters that we've never seen before. They're new to the story. Nefarious was never part of it. So they could have made people believe that they were actually going to change the story. They didn't have to. They could have still had Quark betray him. But it would have been nice to kind of steer the audience in a different direction for a little bit. And they just kind of destroy that when Nefarious just points at a picture of Quark. He literally points at a picture of Quark over and over and over again until Drek gets it. So that kind of hurts the movie. The game, not so much, because like I said, it was given, and Alaris wasn't given too much screen time in the game. Another person who was different between the movie and the game was, I think, I'm drawing a blank, I think it was Cora, one of the other Galactic Ranger, the other female Galactic Ranger. She seemed like she was a buddy to Ratchet in the game. Like, she was actually like, oh, hey, cool, you're part of the Galactic Rangers, let's be friends. She's not that in the movie. She's a whole lot more standoffish in the movie until near the end. And her character doesn't really develop that well, to be honest. She just goes from, oh, you guess you're part of the Rangers now, you know, just keep focused, rookie, to, hey, you're part of the team, let's go. It was very jarring when, you know, she comes to befriend Ratchet and just didn't make any sense. Also, the character development between Ratchet and Clank didn't do too well in the movie. In the original game, it was a bit rough. Like, there were some parts that it just didn't make sense that they were against each other and then they were, you know, best friends. In the game, I feel like they did this a little bit better. In the new one, in the 2016 game, I felt like they did it a little bit better. But in the movie, it just, they never felt like they were friends. At the end, they did, but there was no transition to being friends in the movie whatsoever. as far as the action scenes go in the movie, they're not that good. They're really not. They're about, I don't know, like Saturday morning-ish fight scenes without the cheese. You get what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? They just happen. You know, you're not excited for them to happen. You're not glad that they happened, and you don't walk away like, oh man, that was a cool fight. They just happen. They're just not that good. And, you know, there aren't that many fight scenes in the movie, but I actually suppose that's a good thing. I suppose it is a good thing that there aren't that many fight scenes in the movie, or action scenes, because it just doesn't work. The end one, though, that one's not bad. The final fight scene in the movie is not that bad. It's actually a little bit fun seeing all the weapons getting used. As for the end, it's the game. That's what I'm getting at. Ultimately, that is what I'm getting at. Play the game. Don't watch the movie. And if you are really set on watching the movie, play the game. Like, that's all I can say. Just, whatever you do, play the Ratchet and Clank 2016 video game, and only if you really want to, watch the movie. It's not a movie I can recommend at all. The only reason I watched it was because I had 2 hours to kill. So, it saved me from complete boredom? Guess you can say that. I'm not really a movie critic or rating system whatsoever, so I don't think I could accurately give it a rating. I would just say, pass on it. That's all I can really say. If you've played the game and you really want to see it, you got 2 hours to kill, watch it. That's my big summary of the movie. I didn't walk away impressed, and I didn't walk away wanting to see it again. I didn't walk away wanting to own it either. I watched it on Netflix for free, so I don't want to buy it. I don't want to get it on Blu-ray or anything. I don't want to add it to my collection. The critics, though, made it seem like it was worse than it is. It's not complete garbage. I did laugh some. There are some jokes in this that I went, but other than that, it's not a very good comedy. It's definitely not a good action movie. Yeah, that's my summary. Just don't bother. Don't bother out of 5 stars. There you go. That is my rating system for this movie. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was something very different, and the only reason I wanted to do it is because I played the game on the channel. That's about it. That's all I really have to say about the movie. It's lackluster. So there wasn't really much to say. I really had to force myself to try and think of this stuff to say. But again, I hope you guys liked it, and I'm going to head to the next thing, whatever that may be, and I hope to see you guys there.